Before we use Microsoft Project to have a look at and make use of creating and manipulating a master project, it's just worth stepping back slightly and exploring what a master project is and how it might help us. Here we have a simple layout. We have three projects. As an example, there doesn't have to be three, there could be two, there could be 75. These are individual projects. So we have project one, project two, and project three. These three projects would exist as separate Microsoft project files and can be opened separately and can be managed separately and can be used to add tasks, delete tasks, edit tasks, add resources, etc. If you want these three projects to have some sort of dependency on each other, perhaps one has to begin after another, or there's a slight overlap, you want to create that kind of overlap, or maybe they're using the same resource bank, then we need to create what's referred to as a master project. What a master project is, up here for example, is a separate Microsoft project file. Now on its own, it effectively isn't a project. It's a project file that we then use to manage other projects. And into this master project file, we then import project 1, project 2, and project 3. Now, if we import them by linking to them, then these three files will exist on their own and they can be edited and updated on their own. But together, they can be seen and updated within the master project. Now, the biggest advantage comes if there is an interdependency between any of these projects. Perhaps towards the end of project 1, we are then able to plan to start project 2, and that's what will decide the kickoff for project 2, regardless of project 2's start date. So effectively, it will be dependent on project 1. And the same for project 3. It could be dependent on project 2 or even on parts of project 1. But we'll see mechanically how we can do that. For the moment, we need to just know that we can do that. So having this master project file and then embedding each of these three projects within it allows us to do this inter-project linking. So the files still remain separate. They can be updated separately. They can be used separately by different people even. And our master file then allows us to see each of those and see any inter-project dependency. Now there is a secondary advantage to having a master project file, and that is the ability to then use another file, a shared resources file. So if our three projects are going to make use of a shared bank of resources, so the same set of plumbers, the same material resources, we've added all of that into a separate file, we can then use the shared resource file, which is again another Microsoft project file. So now we have four, the master, the resources, and three separate project files. These shared resources can then be used in each of the three project files and either in the master itself if it has any of its own tasks, which you'll see we can do, and it's referred to as a resource pool. Microsoft Project can handle a resource pool where it's sharing resources between multiple projects. Now, in effect, you don't really need a master project to be able to do that. You can share a resource file between multiple projects, so project 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, as many as you want really, and it will then be able to mark over allocations and work out the total costs. The advantage of doing that within a project file is you can see all that information in one place and potentially manage any problems that may occur. So this is the theory. Obviously, we need to see things in action. So a master project file is a separate Microsoft project file into which we import and embed a number of other project files, which could be 2, could be 3, could be 4, could be 5, could be 6, could be hundreds. And each of those can then make use of a shared bank of resources. So the next stage really is to look at how we mechanically make that happen.